Well, we're back to discuss Kong, and if you saw our review, we were mixed on the movie. I thought that for what it is, it's just fine. Like I said, my only real gripe was the two-legged lizard creatures. I thought were just completely ridiculous. The way that they moved and all that didn't make any sense. It's like they just drag their tail around, and then they can whip it around like a baseball bat, and it just didn't make sense. It's like 2 more legs and they would have been fine design-wise. I mean, their heads were kind of stupid looking too, but
there's no way they could have stayed upright. Like if they
their
weren't
tail wouldn't balance.
I don't think so, because they were so like
the way they were
like their tails seemed like they
it
were
was the
kind
way
of
they were
back-heavy.
moving. They should have. I mean, it should have been like a dragging thing that they were doing, but it wasn't. They were like
Or like a lizard. It was they were more like
It was dragging its tail.
yeah. Terrible part.
So. I guess, I mean, if you guys want to tear into it and talk about what you didn't like, I mean, I can
Aaron?
I can defend it to some degree.
Okay, the visuals I did not like. Starting with the scene where Kong stands up in front of the sun, that looked so horrible. Like, he just looked like a pile of nothing. It was horrible. Like a pile of coats. That's what he looked like. And he looked bad.
That was kind of what they were going for.
Right. Like were you wanting him to be more of a polished
Well, like, he should have looked
ape in the wild?
better. Like, I feel like CGI years ago would have done a better job. That's how bad he looked to me.
It didn't. Yeah, it wasn't like Planet of the Apes level.
I actually thought Peter Jackson's King Kong looked better.
Go back and watch it, because I think
It's been a while since I've watched it fair.
I mean,
But
I don't know. A movie that came out in 2000, 12 years ago, is when King Kong is from. I don't think that you're going to find that the two compare.
then there was a scene where they're sitting at a campfire and it's kind of got like a Northern Lights effect on it. Obviously that was green screen, but you could tell that the horizon was 3 feet behind John Goodman. That is my problem with the visuals, and that happens throughout the background.
I mean, but if you go and if you watch the movie and say, how did they do the special effect? If you spend the movie just looking for how they do a special effect, then you're going to be disappointed with the movie, because everyone knows how all the special effects are done. They're not going to do they're not doing anything groundbreaking with this movie.
I'm not saying they
It's
are.
like, oh, that's a computer-generated monkey. It's like, yes, it is. It's the best they can do.
What I'm saying is, it was so noticeable to me, I
Yeah.
couldn't get lost in it.
That wasn't my complaint. I just felt like they didn't. I had a hard time believing that there was any relationship amongst those people, and that they, I got.
So let's talk about the people.
Yeah.
So, this whole story, this whole, like, the different groups, like the science group and the military group and the, different leads and all that kind of stuff, it's kind of like the beginning of The Lost World, the second Jurassic Park movie, where they go back to the island and one faction's doing this and one faction's doing that, and they have different motives and different things like that. The difference is that in The Lost World, every single person besides Jeff Goldblum is expendable. Mm-hmm. In this movie, they did a great job of not making everyone expendable. There weren't, like, huge relationships being built, which would have been kind of ridiculous given what the story is and given what the pacing of the movie. Like, I'm glad that there isn't, like, they didn't devote like an extra 20 minutes to Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson getting together.
Maybe it's not relationships as much as just any dimension to the characters.
But that's what I was saying about what I liked about what they did with Samuel L. Jackson, which is if they had gotten a less well-known character actor, this guy's always the villain in the movie type of guy, And there's no time that you think to yourself, he's going to turn out to be a good guy. He's always like on this trajectory of, you know, I didn't get to kill enough people in Vietnam. I want to, you know, do this. So I think if that character only works with that casting. I think if you give that character to anybody else, he becomes just this mustache twirling cartoon. And because it's Samuel L. Jackson, it's like you're kind of rooting for this cartoon because he calls Brie Larson a bitch, and even in the context of the movie where it makes sense, it's hilarious.
I think the quote was, "Bitch, please."
Yeah.
I will agree that Samuel L. Jackson was perfect for that. Like, that role had to have been created with him in mind.
And I mean, all the other characters, you know, when they're on the ship coming over, they keep focusing on 4 of the military guys. So those guys get the most development. Those guys get the biggest scenes when one of them dies or when, you know, any of that sort of stuff happens. So there's enough in there for all those things to work. Otherwise, it's just unnamed, unknown soldiers shooting at the monkey, and the monkey, bashes them, and that's the end of that.
See, I still felt that way with the soldiers outside of Samuel L. Jackson's character because they didn't really give them a story. They just gave them a name. Like, you heard Chapman's name
Who has a
about
story?
1 billion times.
Who in the movie had a story?
Well, nobody did,
Right.
but like,
Exactly.
you didn't. I
They're
didn't
equal.
care about them at all because they were just.
Except for maybe John C.
He
Reilly.
clearly had an. I didn't care.
'Cause
About
Yeah,
we
John
see,
C. Reilly.
We see his character at the very beginning
John
and at the
Goodman.
very end.
He
Yeah.
had some story.
Towards the beginning.
Yeah,
Early
before
on.
he got... spoiler, before he got eaten.
But the soldiers, they gave them a name, but that was it. I didn't care any more about them when they got smashed.
Okay. Who's your favorite character in the Peter Jackson King Kong? Who's your favorite character in, like, that's not the point of these movies. It's not character driven. It's not character development. You're following behind somebody. The first Godzilla movie, when they brought it over to America, they just like made like an extra like 50 minutes of Raymond Burr talking about stuff and cut him over all of the Japanese characters and dialogue and made a completely different movie out of it. The movie's about the giant monster, and they set all these things up so that you can witness the giant monster doing things. So to have actors of the caliber of Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson and John Goodman in a movie like this is great because you don't have to give them huge stories. You don't have to spend... The movie didn't need to be another half an hour long to make us care more about Tom Hiddleston or Brie Larson or, you know, anybody that survives in the end of the movie. By the end of the movie, I'd forgotten about John Goodman. Like, he got eaten so early, they just deep blue seed him. And, you know, and that was fine. I loved the way that the sort of tough soldier guy that, like, tried to blow himself up with the two
got
grenades.
swiped.
Got swiped.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
That was great. Like, total subversion of expectation.
That was great. I could not find anything in this movie to keep me invested. Like, it was just so bad to me.
Except for all the things that you like about the movie.
Like, 2 things! 2 things in a 2-hour-long movie.
All right. Suspension of disbelief is an important thing when you watch a movie about a giant ape.
And also, it's all like really nicely set up for the sequel.
Well, they're setting up a King Kong versus Godzilla movie.
Which could be a problem since King Kong gets hurt by helicopter blades.
Yeah, not to mention King Kong is still, like, half the size of Godzilla.
But that was in the 70s.
Wait, you're not suspending disbelief.
Yeah, it's terrible.
These might not be movies for you, Aaron. These may not be the right movies for you. You might be thinking of, like, Planet Earth. Like, something documentary style. That might be more your thing.
I'm a huge fan of the Toho Godzillas, so it doesn't have to be too terribly believable.
Oh, that rubber suit doesn't look anything like.
But
See, I can do it too.
Yeah.
those were at least decent movies. This movie was terrible.
Give me a break. All right, that's enough. That's Kong Skull Island. If you like when we do these, please like the review. Please like the video. Subscribe. Check out all the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com. Thanks for watching.